Hi there, I'm Christine Dunbar from speechmodification.com, and this is my Smart American Accent training. In this video, we'll look at how to pronounce address and address. The word address is a noun and a verb, so we'll talk about what this means and how to use it, which pronunciation to use for which meaning of the word. So first, looking at the noun version of address, we have two different meanings, or we actually have several different meanings, but the main two meanings for address are your the label for the place that you live, so your street address or an email address, or not having to do with location would be a speech, so an address to the crowd. That's the noun version, so he gave an address. Now, you notice that when I'm saying that, I'm using one of two pronunciations. So I've been saying address with the black cat vowel. So that's one way. But actually, when you're talking about the noun, you can either say address or address, in which case we would have second syllable stress and the vowel would change. So if I'm talking about my email address, I want to have first syllable stress, the vowel. It's like the word add plus the word dress, but dress is short. So I wrote it here, even though the stress is really just on only that vowel, address, and you want to lengthen that. It's hard for people when they see letter A to know what sound it makes. And so if I put it in a word like add, your mind might be able to recognize I need that front vowel here. So address, the second syllable has the vowel like in red or like in the word dress. So the vowels don't change in this word. It's just how long you hold them that changes depending on which pronunciation you're using. I like remembering something like the word at to be able to match. I'm at the address or that address. That may help you get that vowel correct. You can also say address for the noun, which would mean that you're using dress as your stress syllable. So it's long, it has the vowel, and then you want to have just a really short, unstressed sound for the letter A here. This is what we do with many words that start with A that aren't stressed on the letter A, like above, about. Just make sure that you're using the sound and not trying to do any sort of sound if you're not stressing on it. The way I recommend practicing for that is just saying something like dress, address, so that you're really short and your syllable is just a little light stepping stone to the dress syllable. So as we mentioned, for the noun, I can do either one. But when I'm using address as a verb, I have to use the second pronunciation. So we can't say I'm going to address the crowd if I'm using it as a verb. We have just the second syllable stress. So she addressed the crowd. I need to address this issue, etc. So when you're using it in action, second syllable stress. When you're using it to talk about a street address or a speech that's an address, you can use either the first or the second syllable stress. So it's a little bit confusing because typically our pattern would be first syllable stress for noun, second syllable stress for the verb. So you can go ahead and choose and use that if that's more useful for you, but it isn't incorrect to use address when you're talking about the noun version as well. I just recommend practicing. You could actually simplify it by always saying address because then you won't ever get it wrong. It can always be my street address or my email address, the website address. I think people probably use these interchangeably depending on what comes before. Whatever's smoothest and easiest for you, I would suggest using that. But now you understand what you're hearing when you're listening to native speakers. That might hopefully clear up some of the confusion around this word because it has multiple meanings and multiple forms of speech in terms of being a noun or a verb. I do have several other videos talking about nouns and verbs, words like project and project, record and record, to help you kind of learn that pattern of nouns having first syllable stress, verbs having second syllable stress. You can check those out on our channel page, and I'll put a comment or a link to those videos for you after this video so you can check them out as well. You can get more details about intonation, syllable stress, vowels, etc. in our online courses. Check out our free American Accent mini course on speechmodification.com. All of our courses are either free or available for $2 to keep them as a really useful resource for you when it comes to pronunciation and accent. I hope you'll check them out. I'll be back again tomorrow with another Word of the Day class, as well as on Friday, we'll have our live question and answer class. You can attend that, type your questions in the chat, and I'll answer them for you live. Look forward to seeing you there. Thanks so much for all of the suggestions and recommendations. And if you have a request, feel free to leave that in the comment for this video or any of my videos. I'll get back to you with a video on your words soon. I'm Christine Dunbar from speechmodification.com. Remember, if you want to sound like a native speaker, you can do it. speechmodification.com. Bye everyone. Hope to see you again soon.